What's it like to see your friend stab a man 5 times?
Yahya Serhan was in the throng at Cronulla when the revenge attacks took place. He was charged with being an accessory after a stabbing and served 9 months in jail.
What would you tell the police, Yahya?
I can't really remember much, but I was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, you know what I mean? Just people everywhere. Like that was it.
What was the atmosphere like leading up to that?
It's like guerrilla warfare. So like, you get us, we get you. Stupid things like that.
And who were the two sides?
Well, the Australians versus us, you know?
Who were the Australians?
Redneck Australians, people against us, you know what I mean?
Waleed, why do you think that whole Cronulla thing happened? What do you think it was all about?
My personal opinion, like tension that the Muslim community and the Arabs and Middle Easterners are getting attacked so much by the media. We want an outlet, and that was a good excuse just to tackle. I mean, the white attack us, the men attack us, the we'll go attack their people, attack their belongings. And in my opinion.
Thankfully, these scenes have not been repeated, but there's little evidence that attitudes on either side have changed.
What about the Cronulla protest? The journalists and the TV made it out to be a riot. We can't even protest. Your class is as a riot. You should be ashamed of yourself. It was a protest. We have a right to protest. It stops here and it stops now. You can't go and molest our girls. We have to go to the beach. It's our tradition, and that's taken away from us.
The New South Wales Police have followed the lead of Scotland Yard and set up a community contact unit under the Counter-Terrorism Command.
Who do you think listens to that station normally? What sort of audience do they have?
I think all backgrounds, mainly Arabic.
Deputy Commissioner Nick Caldas, an Egyptian-born Arabic speaker who has studied radicalisation, sees these troops as being on the front line, especially in Sydney's southwest, which is seen as a potential trouble spot.
There's certainly a concentration in that part of Sydney, southwest Sydney, and that concentration may not be reciprocated or replicated in other Australian capital cities. I don't know for a fact, but that's certainly how it seems to me. It seems to have become a little bit of a hotbed, and it's fertile ground for a very small minority, I stress, that may be forming extremist views.
Well, this is just a timeline for the Cronulla riots. As you can see, this sets out when all the events occurred, so that we were able to investigate every single incident that took place.
Ken Mackay heads the New South Wales Police Middle Eastern Organised Crime Squad, which was set up after the Cronulla riots.
Different Cronulla disturbances. Now, this investigation was still going.
He's concerned about a growing overlap between existing criminal groups and religious extremists.
It's common sense would dictate that if you can be influenced by others to commit serious crimes in terms of shooting at people or shooting in drug deals or, you know, well, it's not. Your common sense would tell you that you may be influenced into committing a terrorist act. You know, if you feel that badly marginalised or isolated and you hate the community because of that, well, you can understand that people may be influenced to, you know, possibly act in that fashion. So what you need to do is really put all systems in place to engage that community to prevent the radicalisation, both in crime and in terrorism, and therefore to keep a lid on both the crime and both the terrorism. So it's, you know, you've got to really make sure that you are addressing the radicalisation.
Hey, Santa Claus. Santa Claus,
Out on the streets, the police are working to build bridges with the Muslim community.
You need a smile, man.
It's too early for him.
Oh, yeah, too early for me too. How you going, brother?
Liaison officers like Gandhi Sindhian, himself a member of the Islamic community, do a crucial job, simply engaging with young Muslims.
Is he a good barber?
Yeah.
Yeah? You come here often?
Yeah.
Yeah? No, the player.
Yeah, I can give you a job too.
No, it's all right, man. Okay. Yalla, assalamu alaikum. See you, brother.
Do you think there's a sense of victimhood among some of the young people?
Yeah, look, honestly, I think there is, yes. There is, you know, because it's so easy to be a victim. It's so easy to sit back and say, you know, I give up, everybody's picking on me, you know, but I use that to empower myself. But once again, this is how I operate. But I can't say that other young people in my community will have that same mentality.
I grew up in Mount Druitt, and I don't know if those who know what Mount Druitt is. It's a very rough area, and I remember growing up with my 6 brothers, it was quite hard to fit in. It was very hard. And there was a lot of racism at the time because hardly anybody ever heard of a Lebanese kid or a Muslim kid or an Islander kid. Islanders didn't exist at that time at all in my days.
Youth worker Fadi Rahman is working with the police and local high schools to give disgruntled teenagers an outlet for their grievances and hopefully to find some solutions.
Whatever you think is happening to you personally or you see it before your eyes, I want you to say it. Don't hold it back.
At this session, a member of the Counter-Terrorism Police Community Contact Unit watches from the sidelines.
In school, this is all about school.
Pick on you and call you names and stuff.
Their complaints can't be ignored because alienation is not just a state of mind.
That's why I love helping young people.
It also means high rates of early school leaving, unemployment, delinquency and crime.
Yes, we always say we're victims, but what are we doing to show that we also are strong? We can go 2 ways about this. We can either sit down and give up, or we can show them what we're made of. We can show them that, yes, this is our country. We love this country. This country has done so much for all of you, has it not? Yeah. Okay? You think if we were back in other countries in the Middle East that they would look after us the same way? No. Honestly.
But for all the positive reinforcement, some of these young Muslim Australians are starting to feel they just can't win.
The way I see it as a young Australian, a Lebanese Muslim, you know, the media, this is how the media portrays it to us. If you're growing up and you commit crimes, if you do bad, if you vandalise, if you steal, if you do all the bad stuff, what does the media call you? A Lebanese thug, yeah? Yeah. And all right, and the opposite of that, if you do good, if you grow your beard, if you wear the Islamic original dress, and you do everything good, they call you an extremist. So where's the line drawn between good and bad? Yeah, they're both bad.
At times they seriously question whether they belong.
To that point where you said, do we feel Australian? During the period of the Cronulla riots, I certainly didn't, you know. That same day I was watching the news when I got home, you know, we heard that, you know, Aussie gang was coming down to take us on or something like that. We got home, my parents were packing their bags. We just felt like we didn't belong. A real sense that we didn't belong, you know, this was it. We're overboard, we're heading off to Lebanon.
Yeah, we don't want this fight, but some people are pushing it. Some people are pushing it to the limit where we're gonna start a war in this country. Like back in our country, there are wars already going on. We're trying to stop it, and then we're back in this country. We're thanking God that we're still in this country.
Anybody who's feeling the way that these young people are feeling is quite vulnerable. Now, what happens after that? Anything is possible. These are dangerous grounds. Young people are quite vulnerable as they are. Plus, having to put so much pressure on them makes them extremely vulnerable and extremely open to any other suggestions and any ideas. So, you know, it is a very, very dangerous grounds that we walk on at the moment.
Many more. Our town is a special place like every other town in New South Wales and throughout Australia. We have many people here tonight who are very, very upset at what is happening, and I do believe that they will hoodwink us. We are a test case. They have bought land at Picton, they have bought land at Goulburn. Watch out, Australia!
Camden in southwestern Sydney, where residents are fighting a planned new Islamic school, could be any town in Australia.
Where does it go from there?
These are hard-working, God-fearing folk, fiercely patriotic, proud of their heritage and willing to fight for what they believe in.